107.5, The Game Podcasting, is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
We know what this game is. We know how this game is supposed to go. Ideally, you would like to see your bench get emptied over the course of the 4 quarters on Saturday. See a lot of guys you haven't seen up to this point. And my question is, okay, and this doesn't have to be somebody that's never played before. It could be somebody that played Sunday you just didn't get to see a lot of. Who are you most interested in seeing featured on Saturday night that you haven't seen featured at all or enough up to this point?
I'm going to give you one guy on offense, one guy on defense.
Okay.
I got Donovan Murph.
All right.
Offensively, I think
Did have a reception on Sunday.
Right. So we saw a little bit of him, but I think he's a big-time playmaker. I think we're going to see a big-time, like, downfield, I don't know, featured in kind of late-game scenarios if this game goes well for South Carolina. Defensively, Kelvin Hunter. All right. Yep, young stud. Watched him come up through the camp circuit and whatnot. I think he can provide some value in this defense and, big-time player, has a nose for the football. Maybe an interception, couple deflections late in this game, maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think that's fair. I look at, obviously, the quarterback room to start off with, and I hope we will get to see both, Aaron Nolan, Cutter Woods. I hope Jimmy Francis gets to go out there at the very end of the game and, throw that guy a bone, because that means you obviously won the game by a significant margin. But this is where the battle for, I call it QB2. Luke Doty's technically QB2, but we kind of know he's an emergency quarterback if needed. The real QB2 / future guy, if Sellers goes to the NFL next year, really starts this weekend. If you remember back in 2023, Ohio State and Notre Dame played each other. That game was in Notre Dame, was a hard-fought game all the way down to the end. And at the end of the game, Ryan Day looked directly at the camera and said, "I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now," in reference to Lou Holtz, a former Notre Dame head coach that had won a national championship, picking the team that he had coached at before to beat Ohio State. He also said Ohio State was soft, and Ryan Day clearly took exception to that. And if Ryan Day could go back, do you think he would say nothing after that instead? Because that kind of blew up in his face a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Knowing Ryan Day, I'm sure he would probably go back and do the same thing. Probably word it differently. I'm sure he's been thinking about what he would have said differently since the incident, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But I don't it's Lou Holtz. He's a retired coach. And granted, it is Lou Holtz, right? Yep. He's won a lot, very influential, does a lot of public speaking and stuff like that. And if you ever get a chance to hear him speak, well, do it, because he does. It's electric. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think Ryan. I wouldn't put it past Ryan Day. I mean, what's he got to yes, it blew up in his face a little bit, but he's got other problems like TV screen grabs to worry about. Piercing, questionable piercings, those kind of things. Piercings, if you will. Right, exactly. Talking about LaNorris Sellers and the difficulty that is stopping him. It's one thing to contain a quarterback that can just get the ball out quick and throw it all over the yard, but when you have that element of being mobile and being able to escape the pocket, and not only that, when you feel like you have him dead to rights, like so many guys did a season ago. What Shamar Turner with Texas A&M was quite literally on his shoulders, I believe. Sellers dumped him over and kept on running. How do you stop that guy? You know what I mean? And again, you better hope you got 3 or 4 friends around you that can all convene at the same time, because one-on-one, again, even if you outweigh him and are bigger than him, he still somehow finds a way to make those magic plays happen that, again, further instills the confidence that Carolina fans have in their quarterback. Yeah, Tyler, it's what goes into the fact that, I don't think we've seen, the craziest thing out of him yet. There's still so much potential for, this kid's ceiling. And, he's already a physical specimen as it is, but then, in there with Luke Day and lifting with, I'm sure he was moving a lot of weight this offseason. There's no way he could be, that strong and Superman-like, without, getting a good weight program. So, yeah, it's what makes him different. Obviously, physically gifted, but then, when you tack on the weights in the offseason plan, oh, my goodness. Yeah, and, again, we saw some of that on display on Sunday against Virginia Tech, and we'll see how much, it's going to be featured tomorrow night. I don't know. Again, I would try and limit him getting hit as many times as possible if I could. So maybe we don't see a ton of the design stuff against SC State, but when Vandy rolls into town next weekend, that's obviously an SC opponent, and we'll see how they compare to last year. Going to learn a lot about them this weekend as they take on Virginia Tech in their game coming up on Saturday night. But you're going to want Sellers at his best coming up next weekend as you start SEC play.